Hello everyone, Dan the 14th Prime here, bringing you a video review of the Hot Toys Star Wars A New Hope Darth Vader movie masterpiece series. So here you can see just a beautiful, slick, kind of satin black box with Vader there. Product image there, not artwork it looks like. And the box all around is just this nice sleek black. Kind of two-tone black. Star Wars down there in the corner. Of course, all the fine print there on the back. Got the Disney logo down on this side of the box. And on the top of the box there just says Star Wars. So beautifully simple and elegant packaging for the Sith Lord here. Let's open it up and take a look at them. I will show quickly just one layer deep into the packaging. Once you get the top of the box off, get this beautiful piece of artwork here with Vader in a classic pose in the foreground. A bunch of stormtroopers in the background. Looks like him and Kenobi, lightsaber duel set up there. Death Star in the background with some Star Destroyers. So really great kind of poster looking art. So here's Lord Vader out of the box with his interrogation droid. I'm going to try to use a white background as much as possible, as imperfect as it might look sometimes, just to get the contrast because there's so much black in the figure, just layer on layer of black. But here he is, basically what you'll get pulling out of the box with the fist accessories on and some simple assembly of the droid there. I'll spin him around here quickly and just give you the wide angle back shot. Obviously just a lot of helmet and cloak there. I gotta say he looks really good, and we'll take a closer look, and I think even the closer you look at him, the more impressed you'll be. So let's zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to give you two angles on the close-in pan up, just so you can get a close look at everything. So we'll do kind of waist to toes and then head to waist, so we're not taking too much of an angle. So here you can see straight on, and I'm trying to bring some extra light in because everything's so dark. But you can see there straight ahead the suit with the vertical stitching. Kind of has a leather feel to it, really nice. He's got a belt there that actually does come off and snap in front of the waist there, and also has some Velcro. And he's got those two electrical boxes. Those actually work and light up. Part of the fanciness of this figure, as you may know, is it just has a lot of electronics in it. So we'll take a look at those later. If we go down a little bit, you got the cod piece there, which is also removable. You can see it flowing down there, kind of the tunic as well, inside the belt. And flowing down, I've tried to pull the left side kind of out a little bit so you can see inside a little bit more. Oh, it's actually a really nice, soft material. So is the cape. So the tailoring on this guy is very nice. You can see the suit continues down underneath the cod piece there into the boots in the shin. And he's got these shin guards that basically Velcro onto the front of the boot. They don't look pretty when they're off because it's basically just a big Velcro strip there. So it's just an accessory that needs to be there. But he does have a leather black boot on behind that. Okay. So that's the lower section. So now we'll go head to waist, and here is the head sculpt, which looks really nice. The helmet's really well done. We'll take an even closer look at it. It's got a beautiful kind of, I guess what I'd call a satin finish. You know, it's not really high gloss. It's not matte. It's something in between where it has just the right amount of gloss, but isn't so shiny that it looks like he's never been in a fight. I'll add a little bit of light here just to help out as we go down. But you can see he's got kind of the chain, it's plastic, around the neck holding on the cloak. He's got the shoulder armor on. There you see the tunic basically coming over the front of the shoulder armor. Down into this chest piece, which is nicely done and nicely detailed. Again, it's a separate Velcro on piece with straps, not like Velcro onto the front of the chest, but Velcro on as in attached with straps around the back. So very nicely done, again with the tailoring. And then down into the waist again. So I will say this guy's wardrobe is complicated. When you gear up the electronics, you put batteries in the back of them. You have to take all this off, which is a bit of a hassle. Taking off his helmet, taking off the cloak, taking off the shoulder pads, taking off the tunic, taking off the chest electronics there, as well as the belt down below. Then going behind him and basically opening up 2 layers of clothing, the outside suit and an inner suit that he has. Then you can access the batteries for the talking mechanism. So that's a little bit of a hassle, quite a bit of work, but really just shows how well kind of layered this guy is in terms of how you would actually go about wearing an outfit like this and putting it all together and putting it on. Here's that tunic and shoulder armor looks with kind of the cloak back out of the way. You can see how the shoulder armor is of course underneath and goes all the way across. The tunic just nicely layers over that. So again, that nice layered tailor kind of look to the outfit is really nice. Here's a close-up of the glove. This is the fisted hand that comes on the figure. You can see how the glove comes up, comes over the undersuit. There it is from the back side, and there's a nice kind of back of the hand layover effect here that velcros on. And here's a close-up of that shin armor. It's got some nice molding detailing there. This one's a little loose, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. You can see the boot underneath, and again, nothing you could leave that way because of the giant Velcro strap glued on the front. But again, just from a tailoring perspective, separate leather boots. These shin guards simply Velcro right over the top. Have a really nice detailing to it themselves. Very quickly here, I'll give you the full body profile just so you can see it. Again, we'll look closer at the head sculpt. I mean, there's not a lot to it. It's a lot of cloak, a little bit of chest, and of course some arms there. Then here you got the back of the helmet down into the cape. Again, I'll add some light here. See, the cape lays really nice. You get kind of some natural folding effect to it. It's not posable, which is fine. But I'm just letting you know. Hangs basically all the way down to his feet. So great length, great tailoring. Super soft cape. Really kind of hangs naturally over the body and the shoulders. But pro or con, not posable. In some ways, it would be nice to be able to do some cape poses with this guy. So that you'll have to customize. So here's a close-up of the head sculpt. Front of the helmet. Again, just super, super nicely done. I'll add a little bit of light here just so you can get a little extra picky on camera. It's almost not fair putting it under this kind of light, but it still shows up really nice. And what may not show up on film is there's actually some very fine wear. It's kind of through here in the mouth area. You can see kind of some very fine chipping effect that's done through the mask. Very subtle, but when you're looking up close at the figure, something to really appreciate. And if I just give him a little bit of spin for you, just so you get the full effect. Really nice shape to the helmet. So just really nicely done, and even, again, because there is so much black, but even inside the helmet there, you can see some of this detailing, these pieces going back kind of underneath the helmet. I mean, my wish list would have been a kind of layered helmet effect. Now this is the Star Wars version, so I understand probably why they're not doing that as an accessory in terms of movie masterpiece series, because we didn't see the helmet come off in Star Wars. We saw Return of the Jedi. But it would be great to have this figure looking this good with these type of electronics with an Anakin portrait sculpt, or maybe even better, actually a working layered helmet mask sculpt. That would be kind of just phenomenal and take the figure to another level. In terms of articulation here, I'm not going to go nuts. I'm just going to point out a couple things, right? I mean, it's a high-priced Hot Toys item, so you know you're getting generally good articulation. It just becomes a question of where some of the choices and trade-offs they've had to make. So there's really two main areas I'm noticing. One is, as you'd expect, probably with the shoulder armor coming around like that. They allow for some articulation there laterally, but it does get a little limited, but not much. I mean, he almost hit 90 degrees there. It's pretty close, so they did a nice job with that on the lateral raise section. And then probably just this cod piece here, which is pretty large and wide. And that's going to limit, bringing the leg straight out. Just gets right in the way immediately. So it doesn't have a very far kick out without probably doing something more significant to kind of move around the cod piece. And you can there see, I'm kind of managing it a little bit now, but it will be a little bit of a challenge. And the head, I was pleased to see, is actually very good. You can get your side to sides. Probably up down is the one limit, because the collar comes into the shoulder armor, so that gets limited. Up seems okay, though it starts to really just open up underneath there, which might not look perfect. So here's all the goodies the Sith Lord comes with, and he does come with a good amount of accessories, including a stand, the interrogator droid with a separate stand, and then 3 sets of hands and a one-off hand, as well as the lightsaber hilt and blade and the electrical light-up lightsaber arm. Let's take a closer look at each of these. So here's the stand. It's pretty basic, and I'm fine with that. It's got the Star Wars Darth Vader nameplate there. Kind of your standard 6-scale pull, and it just plugs into this base, which gives a kind of grating effect to it. So simple, efficient, but works for a movie masterpiece as well. My one gripe would probably be, it would be nice if it was a little bit bigger. You may have noticed at the beginning of the video when I had him on the stand, I mean, he pretty much fills this up. His feet kind of come out about as wide as the base. And that means you can't put anything else on the base. And that's an issue when it comes to the droid, which we'll look at now. So here's the interrogator droid. I do like it. It is a pretty nice piece to have into the set. Very high gloss black kind of finish. I'll just give him a spin for you. He's got all these nice little tools that all come off and attach separately. They just plug into little slots. So this is a nice, shiny, cool, kind of moving nostalgia Star Wars A New Hope piece. So really glad they included this with them. One quick pointer, this top piece is sort of the mystery piece in terms of how in the hell does this thing attach. So there's actually a slot on the inside of that top piece. That was the trickiest one to find. So the interrogator droid just comes with a separate transparent kind of glass looking clear plastic pole, and he just settles on it. A little bit wobbly, kind of wish it would be a little maybe tighter, but he just rests on there. And then this pole has a bottom that can snap into the Vader base that we just looked at, or a special included base. And when I say special, I really mean not special at all. It's a very cheap piece of black plastic. Very hollow, and just has kind of a molded grate effect to it in the hole there where the stand would just plug into. And this is where the issue with the Vader stand comes into play, because with Vader taking up so much of the stand, you can plug this onto the Vader base, but there's just not enough room for both the droid and Vader on his stand. So they include this little bit stand here, but this is just way out of place. Way out of place in the set. So that's very disappointing. Okay, and then we have the 3 extra sets of hands and the one off right hand, in addition to the fists that are already on the figure. So on the left here, you get a set of hands that is basically lightsaber holding. So you can see he's got a grip, and it looks like the lightsaber hilt would just slide right in there. And all these hands have that Velcro on the back. As we saw in the figure, the leather glove comes over the back of the hand and attaches there. He's also got a pair of these force hands. So he's kind of got a little bit of a funny finger look, like he's pushing off a little bit of a force move with his hand there. So he's got 2 sets that look just like that. This is the single right hand pointing hand. Kind of pointing or saying maybe, come to me, or, if you were going to like that. Sort of a come here kind of finger in motion pose. So you get one of those. And then you get 2 of these, which is kind of the open palm, finger spread, frustration pose, I presume. I would think these would be kind of the underhanded arg sort of pose to them. Though you can certainly do other things with it as well. I mean, like that, it could almost look like a force move as well. But I think it's more for the arg. So that's the extra hands. And here's the really cool stuff, the lightsaber hilt. So take a close look at this thing. Really nice detail on it. That is Vader's lightsaber, no doubt about it. And it has a little ring on it here because it will attach to that utility belt that I showed you around his waist. So that'll hook right on. This is the blade, of course. It will glow with the LED lighting arm, which is behind it. And it can also just simply attach into this lightsaber. And then finally you have the light up LED right arm. So this will plug into the whole arm. This is how they make the lightsabers light up on all the Star Wars figures. It has its own lightsaber hilt, of course. That's how it's going to provide the light. And when we get that bad boy hooked up, that'll just plug in there as well for the LED blade. And last but certainly not least, I almost forgot, he comes with a remote control. This is how we'll control all the fancy sound effects on Vader. This W is a button, and there's an on-off switch there. So by pushing the button, once we get Vader on, we'll activate the sound effects. So here I've got the lightsaber right arm on him. I will say it was not easy. I couldn't do it just through the sleeve. So again, I had to go back and basically undress him. Helmet off, cloak off, tunic off, shoulder pads off, then go back into the back of the figure. But I will say it gave me even more appreciation for his tailoring, because I noticed his front section of the suit is actually like a vest, and the sleeves actually come off of that second layer that I talked about underneath. So again, impressive layers this guy has on. Tailoring's fantastic. Here's the right arm. I'll probably never take it off because it was just too painful. But there's the inside shot of him holding the LED saber. So here's Vader with the LEDs on. There's a switch on the inside of the arm, which is not too bad to get to. You roll up the glove, it's there. You can flip that. Each of these little boxes has a switch on the underside, which is super tiny, and they're kind of hard for me to flick, but you can get to them with a fingernail. Getting batteries in those things was the biggest pain in the butt because they were so small. So let's dim the lights and take a look at this guy. So this is pretty dim light right here, and you can see the LEDs look nice. The saber, as I'm looking at the camera, it almost looks lighter orange and even kind of faded or light towards the bottom and the top. I don't know why that is, but sitting here live, it is a bright dark red, exactly how his lightsaber should look. I think these things, these green lights on film, they seem to look pretty accurate to how I'm seeing them right here as well. So again, looks great. Love these little details they're doing, but why they're not doing the chest piece, which should have been infinitely easier than these to do. Like, I don't get, if you're going to load a guy with electronics, it seems like taking care of that should be on the priority list. So I would have liked for Hot Toys to have done that chest piece actually. Then I think it would have been perfect. Okay guys, we're back. Again, I've got all the LEDs on. I've got the switch for the audio on in the back. And it's a pain in the butt getting to the switch because he has all these layers of clothes, which look nice. But finding the switch is basically impossible. So I had to strip them back down again. Then not only that, but I seemed to be having some electronic problems where it wasn't working. I was taking the batteries in and out about 10 times, trying to switch it in all different varieties of ways. And then finally, when I was about to really just about quit, it decided to start working. So I've got the sound effects working. Again, I've got the remote here. So I'm going to press the W button.
Don't underestimate the Force.
We'll go through some of his sound effects here.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Your powers are weak, old man. The Force is strong with this one.
The breathing seems a little close together on the cadence.
A tremor in the Force. The last time I felt it was in the presence of my own master. Don't underestimate the Force.
So that's the cycle of the audio functions. Okay guys, so I've shown you up and down and all around this figure. You've seen all his accessories, all of his electronics, all of his speech functions. So I think the best way for me to close here is just some pics of pulling that all together in different poses and different accessory mashups. Always keeping on the electronic right hand because I don't want to get into taking this guy apart again. Again, really like the figure, just super nice wardrobe. The detail they went to with the layers of clothing and accessories. Everything is literally separate, like how you would probably armor up if you were Darth Vader. So really impressed with that. The electronics, I think it's 90% cool, right? The sound effects are cool. They need to be more accessible and easy though. That's a problem. The lightsaber is cool. The side light boxes are cool. They just missed on the chest breathing apparatus. That should have been lighted as well. The head sculpt is super nice. The armor, everything looks good. The detailing. The droid is a great compliment and a nice accessory to have. The stand works. The droid's accessory stand does not work. But all in all, beautiful piece. I'd recommend picking it up if you're a Star Wars fan. I think you're going to like it a lot. Alright guys, hope you liked the video. I'll see you next time.